Decision height, go around.
Go around thrust. Flaps 25. Plus 10, flaps 15. Positive ready to climb. Gear up. Autopilot's up. Tell them we're going around.
Okay. Tower ADF 121, missed approach.
Many factors can disrupt the smooth and safe operations of an airline. This has been true since the early days of civil aviation. To provide for the common good, Congress enacted the Civil Aeronautics Act of 1938.
Every known scientific improvement is employed to guard each moment of your flight. The pilots, whose average flying experience is over 4,000 hours, keep up continuous communication with the ground station personnel. Every few minutes, they make a position report to the nearest ground station of the American Airways, so that at all times, day and night, radio operators are in communication with planes in flight, wherever they are, learning their positions and giving them up-to-the-minute information on weather conditions along their routes.
These rules and regulations have endured with little change to this day. Those rules required that all airlines operating large aircraft maintain a dispatch center staffed by federally licensed professionals. Although they are some of the least known behind-the-scenes professionals, dispatchers are responsible for exercising positive operational control over all flight movements within an airline. Specifically, they are responsible for pre-flight planning, delay, and dispatch release. This includes monitoring the progress of each flight and issuing instructions and information necessary for the continued safety of the flight. To do this, a dispatcher must have an FAA Aircraft Dispatcher Airman Certificate, in many respects the equivalent to the pilot's air transport rating. To get this certificate, a dispatcher must have extensive knowledge of meteorology, federal air regulations, the air traffic control system, and aviation in general. Even after receiving an FAA certificate, several more years of training and experience are often required before a dispatcher may work for a major airline. During this time as a dispatcher's assistant, additional training is given in company policies, computer systems, meteorology, and air traffic control situations specific to that airline. This is also the time that the dispatcher becomes knowledgeable about the specific mechanical systems of aircraft used by that particular airline. Only after a dispatcher has passed through competency checks can they legally sign a flight release and exercise operational control over a flight. Every day, 60,000 flights take off and arrive safely at their destinations. This means that dispatchers are often involved with numerous flights at one time and must perform numerous tasks quickly and safely, often in pressure situations.
Dispatch, this is ADF 135. How do you hear?
ADF 135, dispatch. Hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yes, dispatch. We're 100 miles north of the airport. We've had A-system hydraulic failure. We plan to continue to our destination. Do you concur? Over.
Dispatch, ADF 3412.
3412, dispatch. Go ahead.
Yes, dispatch. We just passed over Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we've lost our weather radar. You showing any thunderstorm activity between our present position and Los Angeles? Over.
Dispatch, ADF 605 here. We just pushed from the gate and need to get an amendment to our dispatch release for an MEL item. Over.
ADF 605, dispatch. I understand you want to placard the wing body overheat sensor inoperative. Over.
That's affirmative, dispatch. If you'll just give us a new release time and dispatcher's name for the amendment, we'll be on our way.
605, dispatch. Negative on the amended release. The minimum equipment list has an icing restriction. There is forecast icing for your Chicago destination. Return to the gate Let me check to see how long repairs would take or if we need to change aircraft.
Dispatch, ADF 911. We have a flight attendant who is not feeling well and will need to be replaced when we get to Denver. Over.
911 dispatch. Roger. We'll advise crew scheduling.
ADF 794, dispatch, how do you hear?
Dispatch 794, loud and clear, go ahead.
794, dispatch, that thunderstorm activity west of the Rochester area that I briefed you on prior to departure has intensified rapidly, and I have an update for you. Over.
Captain, if agreeable, amend your dispatch release to now show maximum takeoff gross weight of 112.5 based on takeoff, runway 31 left, temperature 84 degrees, flaps position 1 using improved climb performance. Dispatcher's initials are Alpha Bravo, time of record 14:35 GMT.
Because of the centralized nature of dispatch offices and the large numbers of flights under his operational control, a dispatcher experiences irregular operational situations more frequently than do most flight crews. This provides an extensive experience base, making the dispatcher an invaluable resource for the flight crews. Information is vital to the dispatcher's job, so formal procedures are required to keep a dispatcher current. Before the start of each shift, a dispatcher is required to review all pertinent operational messages. This could include changes in company procedures and airport and airspace notices. Following this, the dispatcher makes a detailed weather check. Everything from surface analysis to winds aloft is covered. After all this is completed, an informal yet very important meeting takes place.
Hey, Sarah, you ready for the turnover?
Yeah, hi. Glad to see you. Not a whole lot going on other than weather in Chicago today.
The dispatcher going off duty briefs the dispatcher coming on duty of any existing or anticipated problems. This briefing includes information on any hazardous weather, air traffic control delays, and flights delayed due to mechanical problems.
Right now it's out of service with a nose gear wheel change, and they've got the parts and they say it should be no problem for 1211's departure.
Once the oncoming dispatcher reviews all this information and has a complete grasp of its importance, he or she accepts the shift, and the outgoing dispatcher is free to leave.
You have a good day, too.
Now, the new dispatcher begins the task of planning the first of that day's flights. Many factors go into the decisions the dispatcher will make. Weather at both departure and arrival airports is one of the most important factors, but en route weather and turbulence, air traffic control constraints, and operational notices also play important parts. High-tech tools like weather radar and satellite imaging give the dispatcher the ability to anticipate, not just react to, the changing weather environment. One of the newest of these tools is the lightning detection system. This state-of-the-art device pinpoints lightning strikes all across the nation, painting a dynamic picture of severe weather. The mechanical status of aircraft is also considered. Some routings may be affected by the type of equipment on board. Open maintenance items may also make a safe airplane unsuitable for a certain route. All of this must be weighed during this crucial period. For today's Flight 121, the ATC preferred route is unacceptable because of thunderstorms. The dispatcher must now choose an alternative route that will avoid this weather. This reroute, while increasing safety and passenger comfort, will have operational consequences. The dispatcher then contacts air traffic control to file the flight plan, advising them of the non-preferred route and the reasons for it. Then, considering the factors of route, payload, alternate airports, and fuel required, the dispatcher generates a computerized flight plan and dispatch release. Meanwhile, the captain of a flight has checked in for that flight and has reviewed his own department's briefing book for the latest changes in policies and procedures. Now, the captain is ready for a briefing by the dispatcher.
Good afternoon. Flight 121, DFW JFK.
I have it right here, Captain. Good afternoon. The preferred route to JFK is not usable this afternoon because of a line of thunderstorms that runs from 70 miles north of Memphis to 60 miles north of Jackson, Mississippi. The line is moving eastward about 20 knots. The National Weather Service has issued severe weather watch number 412 for this area with tops to 53,000 feet. So for weather avoidance tonight, I've planned you south of the preferred route.
This is an important meeting between the two professionals responsible for Flight 121 today. Here, the dispatcher briefs the captain on the plans he's made, the current weather, and other operational details. It also includes reports from other pilots along the route.
Does it look like the thunderstorms are going to continue to move east, and are there any indications that they may start building up south?
I've been watching it since I came on duty at 1 o'clock, and so far it's moved exactly as forecasted. If the weather should fail to cooperate with us, though, if we see some buildup south of Greenwood, I've given you some extra fuel for deviation, just in case. You'll have tailwinds, so we should get into Kennedy right on schedule.
Okay, how about the JFK weather?
Well, JFK is currently showing low stratus clouds associated with a warm front and moderate winds from the southwest. The ATC System Command Center in Washington has issued a ground delay program for Kennedy, but only encompassing the first-tier centers. So DFW is exempted, and we should get out of here right on schedule. Your alternate for this evening is Syracuse. The weather is clear there and expected to remain so.
All right, I'll go ahead and sign the dispatch release now.
In signing the dispatch release, both the captain and the dispatcher are meeting federal air regulation requirements. They both agree the flight can be operated safely in accordance with the dispatch release. This shared decision-making and joint responsibility ensures the safest possible flight, even if conditions should change en route. And while the flight is just beginning, the dispatcher's job is far from done. The dispatcher, often confused with an air traffic controller, is responsible for maintaining positive operational control of his airline, whereas the air traffic controller is responsible for traffic separation of all aircraft operating in his sector. In addition to planning and briefing functions, the dispatcher also monitors these flights all the way to their destinations.
Dispatch, Jay Knowlton.
Hi, Jay. Lorraine in meteorology. Say, the outflow boundary from these thunderstorms are generating new areas of severe weather.
Yeah, I just got off the radio with another flight in the Greenwood area, and I was just getting ready to call you. Flight 882 coming down from Washington says that the thunderstorms are building rapidly. The tops are already over 35,000 feet.
Speaking of which, they just issued Severe Weather Watch 413, 413.
Thanks, I just got my copy. ADF 121, flight dispatch, how do you read?
Dispatch, this is 121. Read you loud and clear. Go ahead.
ADF 121. Captain, I have some updated weather information for you. That line of thunderstorms we discussed earlier has rapidly developed further southeast into Alabama. Also, the National Weather Service has just issued Weather Watch number 413 for the area between Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Looking at our current weather radar, suggest you now take up a routing direct Montgomery, direct Atlanta, and then flight plan route into JFK. Over.
121, we concur. Any turbulence reports?
121, negative on the turbulence report, sir. But I do have an amended JFK terminal forecast for you when you're ready to copy.
Dispatch 121, go ahead.
121, the amended JFK forecast at 2100 GMT, indefinite ceiling 200, sky obscured, visibility 1/2 mile in light rain and fog. The winds are 220 degrees at 15 knots, gusting to 20 knots. And at this time we are expecting airborne holds in the New York area.
Dispatch 121, roger.
Since airline deregulation in 1978, airlines have adopted the hub and spoke route systems. What this means is that an airline will schedule its flights to converge on an airport, all arriving within a narrow window of time. This allows for the efficient transferring of passengers and cargo between scores of flights that later depart to still more destinations. What this means to the passenger is that more destinations are available more often. But this versatility has a price. Since every flight now relates to every other flight, a single delay can cause a domino effect. The result? Misconnected, upset passengers and aircraft and crews out of position, causing further delays, further upset passengers, lost revenue, and added airline expense. And since some airports have up to a dozen banks of arrival and departures, a delay early in the day can cascade down the system for several additional flights. In addition to their primary duty of flight safety, dispatchers have another important task: to manage the operations of the hub and coordinate the hundreds of flights to eliminate delays and minimize disruptions to the airline and its passengers. Smooth-running flight operations are essential to an airline's economic well-being. Dispatchers coordinate all the airline's resources: senior management, maintenance, reservations, crew scheduling, and passenger services to solve a problem.
Dispatch 121.
121, dispatch. Go ahead.
Dispatch, we're holding over Cameron intersection at 14000. Fuel on board is 20,000 pounds.
121, roger that, and be advised that the arrival delays in the JFK area are now averaging 45 minutes. And when you're ready to copy, I have the latest JFK and Syracuse weather for you. Over.
Dispatch 121, go ahead with the weather.
121, dispatch. The JFK weather special at 0124 GMT. Indefinite ceiling, 200 feet sky obscured. Visibility is 1/4 of a mile in light drizzle. Runway 4 right, visual range is being reported as 2,200 feet, variable 3,500. And the Syracuse weather at 0051 GMT. Measured ceiling 2,000 broken, 3,000 broken, 4,500 overcast. Visibility 10 miles, winds 100 degrees at 7 knots. Based on your remaining fuel on board, I estimate that you can hold until 0146 GMT and still keep Syracuse as your alternate. Over.
Dispatch 121, we concur with that estimate. Stand by one.
ADF 121. Fly heading 060, vector to localizer runway 4 right, maintain 14000.
They've just released us from holding, and we're now inbound to JFK.
121, dispatch, roger.
Decision height, go around.
Go around thrust. Flash 25. Plus 10, flash 15. Positive ready to climb. Gear up. Autopilot's up. Tell them we're going around.
Okay. Tower ADF 121, missed approach.
Get dispatch on the radio and put them on radio number 1. Let me know when you have them, and I'll talk to them. We're coming up on 3,000, Bill. If you'll take the airplane, I'll put it on autopilot here before you can level at 3.
Okay,
I'll talk to dispatch. They're on 1. Dispatch, ADF 121. JFK weather has gone below landing minimums, and we've executed a missed approach. We've been given holding instructions at Gant intersection and have an expected further clearance time of 0200 GMT. Our fuel on board is 13,000. Is there a closer alternate we can use to hold longer? Over.
121, dispatch, negative. Philadelphia weather is currently below alternate minimums. Syracuse remains our only legal alternate. Please proceed to your alternate at this time. Over.
Dispatch 121. Roger. Proceeding to Syracuse, ETA 0233 GMT.
Federal Aviation Regulations Part 121 require U.S. airlines to have dispatchers who exercise operational control of their flights, a safety mandate not required of some foreign airlines. In commercial U.S. aviation, safety is our most important concern. The airline dispatcher is a crucial member of the professional team that keeps you safe.